Hello there, this is Critical from Critical Media, just taking a look at the 2022 hardcover release of Decorum from Jonathan Hickman, Mike Huddleston, and Sasha Head. She did a lot of the design work, so she definitely deserves some praise. And what we usually do at this channel is give you an idea of what to expect if you ever come across this book in the wild. So we go over the exterior, some bonus material, art and plot points, and then a brief review at the end. Now, this series, it began in March of 2020. It ended in November of 21. So, yes, there were a few hiatuses. It's about 400 pages. Even this hardcover was delayed. It was supposed to come out in January of 2022 and only showed up in May of 2022. So, hey, I'm just happy it's here. Now, in terms of the exterior, yep, similar to other Image releases, it is a hardbound release, so no dust jacket here. I always like when companies do that, have faith in their product. So it has that nice aesthetic. It's going to prepare you for the kind of coloring you're going to get within. And same thing goes for the exterior here. Very unique designs, again, preparing you for what's inside. And a traditional spine from Image. It's flat, which I like, and very similar to Velvet's dimensions and whatnot. By the way, folks, Image just releases a deluxe hardcover in general, so it will match up with a Marvel oversized hardcover. Poetically, I have Hawksbox here from Hickman as well, and same thing goes for DC Deluxes and Omnibuses, same dimensions. Now, for bonus material, not bad going around here. We have a lot of cover designs here from Huddleston. He's the main artist of this series. He didn't really let anybody else touch it, so almost all designs are from him directly. And as you can kind of see from the aesthetic, it's kind of going for like almost a Firefly, Farscape, Star Wars kind of vibe. So I definitely appreciate that. Almost has a little bit of Dustin Nguyen, Huddleston has, just a little bit. But yeah, very unique aesthetics as you're kind of seeing here. Very unique. Probably my favorite of the entire bonus materials is this panel here, or sorry, this spread here. Man, it just speaks to me. I don't know what it is. There's that character Ma. I remember this cover. I remember thinking I was going to like this character a lot. Let's just put it this way. I'll mention it later in the series. But yeah, all around, yeah, you're getting very consistent work. And you can almost tell this book is almost made to bring out the best out of Huddleston's designs. So very on point there. And a few character bios at the end. So not bad. Now, for art and plot points, I did kind of bring it up earlier, Hawkspox. A lot of the writing design that Hickman employed in this, like those white pages with a lot of information, I always interpret it as Sage archiving that info for us. It actually returns in this book as well, and also the design of like the way, celestial societies work is very similar to what was introduced in Hawksbox, even down to like when it reaches like the Dominion, like the species that just controls everything. So in that light, you know what? I'll just go right to that very page, which kind of highlights that idea here. There we go. Here we are. There we are. And yeah, it's basically set in like the year 12,000, so well removed from Earth at this point. And it's like basically the union of frontier worlds, which is like the Republic. Yeah. And then we have the Church of the Singularity. That's like the bad guy, the Dominion, the antagonist of the story. And then there's also, I guess, what's the word? The Syndicate Major, or Syndicate Major, which is kind of acts like the underworld. And they basically operate on planets like Dale this here. So it's like the Nar Shaddaa Tatooine of it all. And right off the bat, you're introduced to the vehicle character here, Nia Norisud. She's just a courier, basically a bike messenger of the future, where she's just trying to earn money to keep her family healthy. Unfortunately, they're diseased; they had to be frozen, kind of thing. So she's just trying to pay for the upkeep, and she's pretty much living a hard life, even to the point where, even in the future, she's reduced to eating just udon noodles. It's the only thing she can afford on a regular basis. But then we're introduced to, of course, one of the best characters, probably the character that defines this book. After all, I think the book is truly, defined from her. Of course, this is Imogen Morley, the highly respectable, highly refined assassin. And everything about her, as you can see, she has a lot of dialogue with her everywhere because she speaks very proper, even when she's going to kill you. I love that about her. Even the way she threatens people. She even says it herself. I don't threaten people. I promise people I will kill them. So I love the way her mind works and just how infectious Nia matches up with her. Because Nia has kind of a foul mouth. She's young. She's like in her early 20s. So I definitely appreciate that dynamic between them. And they kind of oddly enough just seem to fit together, these two. And through this mishap here, she ultimately takes Nia under her wing and invites her to become an assassin. Now, the whole plot of the story is there's some sort, in a nutshell, there's some sort of egg. It's housing God, essentially. And the Church of the Singularity, the bad guys of the story, they're trying to get to it before anyone else. I'll just leave it at that. Let's just put it that way. It's a bit more in depth. It's actually a lot more in depth, but that's the whole point of why you want to read it. But you're seeing that same aesthetic I mentioned earlier, where it's very minimalist in how it uses its color, but it also helps amplify each different setting. And that's something I definitely appreciate here. So, this is like the whole Morley aspect of it. Huddleston manages to give you like a completely different world and a completely different environment and make it very convincing with its design. So, definitely love that. He almost has like a Dustin Nguyen style, but admittedly a little bit better than it. I'll say that much. No offense, Dustin Nguyen. But yeah, you're kind of seeing that color design again. It grounds you into which part of the story, which world you're following. So I think that was a very smart move. And I always like whenever stories do this, where what's the word? You can kind of see the evolution of a character through the art and the storytelling. So they don't actually have to show you dialogue. You just see that Nia's getting better and better throughout more and more training. One of the other highlight characters here is Ma. Some people may like her, some don't. I'm on the side of not liking her as much, mainly because for a character who's supposed to be the leader of the assassins, she comes off very immature. Like every other word is a cuss word, but also the way she's written is very childish. I don't know if that was intentional of Hickman to try and offset Imogen's, propriety and, niceties against the pretty rough exterior of Ma. But man, it just didn't. It got old very fast. Let's just put it that way. Like every other word is a cuss word with her, which is a shame because I liked the design of the character. But I guess that's all besides the point. As you're continuously seeing, like this is such a visually appealing book. Like I said, that minimalist design helps it lift off the paper even more. So I definitely appreciated that. Man, oh man, just very, very evocative. Let's just put it that way. And then when situations happen, yeah, they just happen off the paper or off the page even more. So I definitely appreciate that too. Very unique book. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to go too far because there's a reason why this book kind of went on a hiatus for the last two issues, because it's very dense what happens later in it. But all in all, this is definitely a worthy read. I don't normally do the number scores, but I'll say this: it's an 8 out of 10. If it wasn't as convoluted, there's a lot of world building, and I feel Hickman kind of went too far, focusing on that instead of giving us enough story. There is going to be a continuation to this, so maybe that's what will redeem it. But all in all, this is definitely a great package. Image, well-bound book. I wish more companies did what Image does here. But hey, maybe you guys have your own opinions of it nonetheless. But I wouldn't mind hearing them in the comments down below. And until then, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.